And he's an aspiring comedian.
Yeah,
did you know that?
Oh, Lord.
Please, but what did he do?
Lord knows we need more lame open micers in this universe. But he was appointed to the board of the CMA, the Country Music Association's educational foundation.
Because he loves music. He loves rocking out on guitar.
And he records his TBN show in Nashville.
That's not right.
So he's going to be a comedian with a guitar? That's even worse.
Hey, I do.
Just saying.
Oh. And that's why I don't do the guitar in my act all the time.
Well, he had to step down.
But yeah, he had to step down because a lot of country musicians and one of the big country music promoters who he's an agent. His clients include like Faith Hill and some big names.
Casey Musgrove or something. Musgrove.
Yeah.
Musgrave.
She's one of his clients, but he's gay. He's married, and he and his husband have one child, and apparently they're expecting twins. But he wrote a letter saying, if you guys keep Huckabee, because of everything that he has said, saying that I, my husband, my children are less than him, that we are not worthy because of my sexual orientation, and because we believe that we are entitled to equal rights as Americans. If he stays, we're going, and we're taking our people with us. And CMA really quickly backtracked, and Huckabee wound up resigning his position from the board. And his response was that hate wins.
Yeah.
Now,
that was rich. That was
but
delicious.
Not big and rich. But that is one of the things that just infuriates me is how, and we hear this a lot from Nazis, literal and figurative, saying that because we liberal snowflakes will not accept Nazis into our midst, that we will not accept their viewpoint as being valid, that we are truly the haters. What a load of horseshit.
Well, it's classic gaslighting. It's classic, reality distortion or doublespeak, whatever you want to call it. Just like Orwell pointed out, it's like a known tactic, whether people realize they do it or not. That's what abusers do. Yeah. Of every kind.
And this is what we're dealing with. We're going to backtrack a second here because I don't want to, give short shrift to the issue, but the issue of arming teachers.
Like I said, give me my gun.
Well, I mean, seriously, where did you teach? Here in LA, LAUSD,
I taught in LAUSD.
High school?
Junior high.
Okay.
Don't get up all in my personal business on the radio.
That's shooting. That is shooting age.
We can fix it in post. Yeah. But your thoughts? I mean, you were in the trenches.
Like I said, literally. I agree with most thinking people is to not arm the teachers. We have plenty of things to do. Okay, we have a lot of things to do, and trying to arm us and be security also is not it. I mean, we need to have security. We had an officer that was there. A school police was only there like 3 days a week or something. Not even every day. So we have one person for 2,500 kids. So we need some help,
Tuesdays and Thursdays are flak jacket days.
I know, exactly, right.
I mean, no one would ever thought that this is where we would be in school, where, a school is where you're supposed to go to learn. But now we're finding out, you got to do, worry about being shot. Who would ever thought that you'd have to worry about being shot?
Yeah, worry about the flu.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, and then the security guard now looks like he's paramilitary. He's got a AR-15, he's got 2 9mm, he's got an ankle, and this is all for high school. This is to go to high school. You need this?
That one of the things, because as we were talking earlier about the letting the ignorant people know that they're ignorant. A lot of people say, you have to put yourself in their shoes and try and think from their viewpoint. And when the kids in Parkland went back to school this week, and they were covering it on the news. There were armed police all over the place. They had a coterie of comfort dogs there for the kids. And I tried to put myself in the shoes of one of these conservative folks, and I'm watching this on the news, and I'm thinking, what a bunch of wussy little kids. Like, they need, armed police. They need the comfort dogs. We didn't have that when I was a kid. And that's where my being in their shoes ended. And I put my liberal shoes back on like Mr. Rogers, throwing the Keds on. And I continued thinking, because that's what you do. Everything happens for a reason is not where thought ends. You then have to figure out the reason. So I continued to think, and I realized, we didn't have any of that stuff at my schools when I was a kid, because we didn't have school shootings on the regular. School shootings were, I don't remember them ever happening.
And they didn't have AR-15s.
Yeah.
We had some good AK-40. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But the fact of the matter is, and say what you will about the efficacy of comfort dogs or, having police watching the kids go into school. Yeah, we didn't have those back in my day because we didn't have school shootings. So it's not that the kids are a bunch of tender snowflakes. It's that the kids are dealing with a whole other set of problems.
Yeah, they're not snowflakes. They're dealing with literally witnessing mass murder and surviving.
Well, it's going also, though. What did we start with? We started with the pedophiles. We went from the molestations, and then we went into ADHD, AD. Everybody's getting drugs now. And then all of a sudden, we have an opioid problem now. And then we have school shootings. It's just like a compound of all these different things that have been building over the years. You had a crack problem, but now they said, we have this opioid thing is killing. Well, crack was killing. And now you're saying, wow, you know why? Because it's went into white suburbia, and these white kids are dropping dead, and you need to fix this, because you're going from talking about a person taking an opioid. I mean, now he's going straight to heroin. And there was a person, they did have some people talking about, whoa, heroin's back. No, it killed then, and it will kill your ass today.
Yeah, it never really went
away. I mean, I was like, what are you embracing it?
It's still in fashion.
It's not like Earth shoes.
Didn't Philip
it's like a little black dress heroin.
Didn't Philip Seymour Hoffman? Philip Seymour Hoffman the guy hadn't did heroin in 25 years. Decide, I'm going to have a hit of heroin. No, bro, you are not. And he put that in his arm and dead. Out.
Well, and you mentioned that crack wasn't a problem until it, went into the white suburbs. And there was an interesting editorial in the Chicago Tribune this week about Black Lives Matter, right. And how a lot of the youth that support that are looking at what happened in Florida, and they're like, wait, how come they're getting all the attention and nobody's talking about black people getting shot by the police anymore? Right. And I think it's a valid point. I think, we should be talking about both things, but I do think it's interesting that, everyone was talking about how important Black Lives Matter is, and talking about
also not that many people, honestly.
Right.
Even people who consider themselves liberal, I've heard them say, the propaganda against it has been so effective that even professed liberals have been like, well, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's extreme and a little bit off-putting for them to focus on this issue. Like, it's isolating. Like, if you want allies, you need to just saying Black Lives Matter turns people off, which is a crazy thing to say, because that's the issue at hand. It's fucking crazy.
Well, that's why the Me Too movement caught hell when it first came out,
right?
Because black women were like, Shonda Rhimes came out and said, "Hey, if you're not pushing black folks, we're not fighting with you. You're not going to be women of color. We're not coming, because guess what? You guys have been getting over for a while. We haven't been getting anything. You're talking about what you haven't been getting. It's it's got to be for everybody." And then they switched it and said, we got to be for the women who are going through the things that, different jobs and everything. It's just not for Hollywood. It's for everybody, So you just can't, they're trying to label it in one way. You can't do that. And that's why, and so a lot of times you try to take one situation and connect it to another. And it's like, well, that's what people are saying. The racial issue has always been here. You've had 100. They just put out an article that let them know that slavery actually went into 1963. It didn't stop in 18. It went all the way through because there were people still working on those lands, still trying to pay the debts of their families. Because every time
it was effectively slavery.
Yeah. So it's they put that through. So it's so many different issues that have compounded that I think that we have to address. And everyone says, "Well, I want to live in America." Do you really want to live in America? Because America's going through a lot of shit that people don't know anything about. Just trying to live everyday life.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things. We don't need a wall on our border. We just need constant press coverage of what Donald Trump is doing, and that'll keep the foreigners out.
Well,
I wouldn't want to come here.
Well, there again, there you go. What'd you do? You put the blame on somebody else, knowing that rich liberals and rich conservative all wanted that cheap labor. Those people just didn't come over here for the heck of it. They came over here to work, okay? And you didn't want to pay the average American worker what they're worth. You still don't.
Right.
You still do not. I mean, who is it? Bezos made $100 billion? And he says, Bezos. And he says, I can only afford to pay someone $12.25 an hour.
Doesn't sound like the math adds up there.
Yeah. 100, but that 4 people have more wealth than 200 million people. 4 people.
So what you're saying is, it sounds like, and I think I agree, I mean, in every aspect of society, every sort of problem boils down to ultimately greed. And like there's these forces that are at work that take precedence over what the actual people want.
Right.
I think there's enough...
Which is the... Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think there's enough consensus among average, regular people.
Right.
Even if somebody might be ignorant, like they're not necessarily an evil oppressor. They're just an idiot or whatever. Most people are idiots. That's a fact. But overall, I think people just want to get along and like live their dumb life and like, burp and like eat food and whatever.
But that's why.
But these powers that be, I mean, they don't want that. They want to squeeze out every single ounce of, free or cheap labor for their own profit. They don't care if you starve. They don't care if you kill each other in the streets. That's why they want to flood the market with guns.
Well, but that's the reason why the value of an education is so expensive here.
That's right. Because it separates out the the poors.
Because you notice the only way you can get now, you get a better education? Do you know a 17-year-old at my job has the opportunity to go to college for free? He can get 2 years of college and we'll pay, our tax dollars will pay for him. If he maintains a C average, comes out of juvenile hall, don't go back, and he can go to college for 2 years for free. Our tax dollars pay for that. And I always push kids.
That sounds
good. We used to have free college for 2 years.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get some of these things back. I mean, the progressives are,
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why I push it. I said, hey, man, how old are you? And he said, 17. I said, hey, you need to go, or I'll tell the young girls there, you need to go to school. You need to get at least 2 years of college. It will help you. So you can you need some knowledge to open that imagination so your brain can open up to see what's truly going on. If not, you just, you're floating around in the hood. You don't know nothing. Stand in the hood all day. You're not going to learn anything. They won't even go down to the beach. No, bro, I can't go down to the beach. What? This is California. You don't go to the beach? No, I can't go to the beach, bro. I just stay in my hood. I was like, oh, God. Lose my mind.
That's nuts. I mean, that just the reasoning.
Can't do it.
Wow.
And that's why I always stress. I mean, I told the kid, I said, you know what? I can actually say crime pays. He says, why? I said, because I haven't looked for a job in 28 years, and your dumb ass is paid for it. Now, is that enough to tell you to stop doing what you're doing and change your plan? Just stop it. You're not good at it. Quit stealing.
All right, kids, help put Tymon out of work.
Yeah.
Stop being idiots.
Yeah.
It is very altruistic of you.
Yeah. I always say
he's close to retirement.
Yeah. There you go. I even got a pension.
It's not entirely altruistic. God, so many things going around. And we've talked about so many topics. One thing that I wanted to bring up is because our wonderful president, who communicates via Twitter so often, tweeted this morning that it is National Anthem Day.
What?
Which didn't know. I personally.
Okay, I'll do a rendition. I wasn't prepared, but okay.
Wait, you got to move the hand up and down.